History is not just written in dusty books or remembered through fading stories. History lives in photographs. A single image can hold an entire world. A frozen moment that captures love, hardship, laughter, or pain. Old photos are time machines, taking us back to an era we never lived through, yet one that feels strangely familiar. They remind us that people in the past were not just figures of history, but living, breathing souls with hopes and fears, just like ours. Today, we're going to take a journey through some remarkable old photographs that will forever change the way you see the past. Childhood in the past. One of the most striking things about old photos is how they capture childhood. We often imagine children of the past running through meadows, flying kites, or playing with wooden toys. And yes, some photos show exactly that. Innocent joy frozen in time. But others reveal a harsher truth. At the turn of the 20th century, child labor was common. Photographs from coal mines and textile factories show boys with soot-covered faces and girls no older than 10. Their tiny hands busy weaving threads in massive machines. Their eyes look older than their years. These images, once published in newspapers, shocked society. They forced people to confront a reality many preferred to ignore. That childhood was being stolen by industry. But alongside these heartbreaking images are others that shine with hope. Photographs taken at Ellis Island show immigrant children holding their parents' hands as they stepped into America for the first time. Their clothing may have been ragged, but their eyes sparkled with possibility. These families carried little more than dreams, and the children in those photographs remind us that every wave of migration is really about hope for the next generation. Not all childhood photos are about hardship. Some revealed the resilience of joy. In pictures from the 1930s, during the Great Depression, we see barefoot children playing stickball in the streets of New York. Their clothes are patched, their shoes worn thin, but their laughter radiates even through black and white stillness. In rural towns, kids invented games with sticks, rocks, and scraps. The photos remind us that childhood joy does not need wealth, only imagination and companionship. Women changing the world. Flip through enough old photos, and you'll quickly see how women changed the course of history. Early images of suffragettes, marching with banners proclaiming votes for women, remind us that rights we take for granted today were once fought for with courage and persistence. You can see the determination in their faces. Mothers, daughters, working women, demanding a seat at the table of democracy. During World War II, photographs captured women stepping into roles society once thought impossible. Images of Rosie the Riveter, women working with heavy machinery in factories while men were at war. Still inspired today, they weren't just filling jobs. They were reshaping gender roles. Old photos of women in uniforms, serving as nurses or even pilots, remind us that bravery has no gender. Even in quieter photos, change is evident. A picture of a woman behind the wheel of an automobile in 1910 is not just a snapshot of transport. It is a symbol of independence. Photos of female athletes breaking into sports once dominated by men reveal determination that paved the way for the equality we see today. These images tell us progress is never given. It is demanded, and often photographed. Technology that shocked the world. Imagine seeing an airplane for the first time. Old photos show crowds gathered at airfields in the early 1900s, staring in awe at machines that could fly like birds. To us, planes are ordinary. But to them, it was magic. Photographs of the Wright brothers' flights or the first Zeppelins floating over cities capture human wonder at its purest. Similarly, photos of early automobiles reveal faces filled with pride. A farmer standing next to his first car wasn't just showing off a purchase. He was standing next to a revolution. Entire families posed proudly beside their new vehicles. The way we pose with smartphones today, it was more than transport. It was freedom. Other photos show people in front of giant computers that filled entire rooms in the 1950s, marveling at machines that could perform calculations we now do on pocket devices. Pictures of families gathered around the first televisions capture excitement and disbelief. They remind us that every technology we take for granted today was once a wonder, and photographs allow us to share in that first moment of discovery. Migration, struggle, and survival. Old photos also tell the stories of migration and struggle. Photographs of weary families arriving at Ellis Island, carrying all they owned in small bundles, reveal both exhaustion and hope. They were stepping into uncertainty, but they carried faith in the promise of a better future. During the Great Depression, photos by photographers like Dorothea Lange captured desperate families in dusty fields, mothers holding children with worry carved into their faces. These photos weren't just art. They changed history. When Americans saw the images of starving migrant families, it moved the nation to support reforms and aid. Refugee photographs from war zones across the world. People fleeing with only what they could carry. Echo the same story. Whether from a century ago or today, these faces remind us of the timeless human desire for safety, dignity, and hope. War and humanity. War is often remembered in numbers. Battles won, soldiers lost. But photographs reveal the human side. In trenches of World War I, we see young men writing letters by candlelight, trying to hold on to love back home. Photos capture soldiers laughing together, even while surrounded by mud and misery. Those smiles remind us that even in darkness, humanity endures. Some of the most iconic photos come from World War II. A sailor kissing a nurse in Times Square at the announcement of victory. Women waving goodbye to departing soldiers. Children playing in the rubble of bummed-out cities. Each image tells a story of resilience, sacrifice, and survival. Perhaps the most powerful war photos are not of generals or weapons, but of ordinary people. A soldier holding a puppy. Friends sharing bread. Families reunited after years of separation. These images strip away politics and remind us what war truly means. Lives interrupted. Hearts broken, but also the persistence of hope. Everyday life in the past. Not all old photos are dramatic. Some are beautifully ordinary. Families posing stiffly in front of cameras on Sunday afternoons. Barbers standing proudly in their shops. Grocers showing off their goods. Farmers with baskets of harvest. Their hands calloused, but their faces proud. These photos transport us to a slower time. Streets without cars. Kitchens without modern appliances. Children dressed in their best clothes for a single family portrait. They remind us that life has always been full of small joys. Meals, work, gatherings. Even without the conveniences of today, moments of peace, love, and joy. Among the most moving old photos are those that capture love. A couple holding hands in the 1920s, their eyes locked as if no one else existed. Newlyweds grinning awkwardly at the camera. Soldiers kissing their sweethearts goodbye. These small, tender moments show us that while technology, fashion, and politics change, Lao Do is not. Photos of children playing, families celebrating holidays, or friends laughing together during times of hardship remind us that joy is not erased by struggle. Even in refugee camps, photographs capture children smiling, inventing games, and finding laughter. Humanity, at its core, always seeks light. Conclusion: these old photos are more than pieces of paper. They are windows into lives once lived, into struggles and joys, into moments that echo into our present. They remind us that history is not distant. It is human. Every face in those photographs once dreamed, once laughed, once feared, once loved. And when we look closely, we realize we are not so different. History repeats, but it also connects. These photos change our perspective because they show us what numbers and dates cannot. The soul of the past. And when we understand that, we begin to see not only where we've come from, but also where we're going.